Welcome to another episode of Innkeeper Goes to the Movies. Today we will be reviewing Final Prayer, also known as Borderlands. An IT specialist and a hoax investigator for the Catholic Church are hired to investigate the veracity of a video depicting paranormal activity during a sermon in a small church located in a small town in the UK. Ironically, the most religious individual is the biggest skeptic during the investigation, but events unfold that eventually provide undeniable proof that something is not right. Having found some evidence of pagan worship from before the existence of Christianity, the investigators begin to uncover disturbing revelations of sacrifice and mental deterioration. It all culminates in a shocking ending that disturbed me to the core. Found footage meets Lovecraft in this terrifying film from 2013, presumably renamed Final Prayer in the US because of another gem of a horror film from 2007 called Borderlands, which deals with cultist activity in Mexico. Check that one out too if you get a chance. Anyway, I'm not a big fan of the found footage genre, but this film here is a true gem. The acting and the dynamics between the two main characters, Deacon and Gray, are one of the strongest aspects of this little film. Some interesting aspects of the story kept me interested, and the fact that the religious guys are the ones who are the most skeptical creates an interesting dynamic as well. The film starts out as religious supernatural horror, but ends up a very terrifying Lovecraftian horror at the end. The mood throughout is very dire, and the constant feeling of dread is at times anxiety-inducing. Anyway, the ending. When they go down into the secret catacombs below the church, oh man, I'm not going to spoil what they find, but it did stay with me for days. The movie is not perfect though. It does suffer from the found footage. Why are they still recording? And who found this footage and how did it resurface? Especially when there's multiple cameras recording in the same room. It didn't bother me too much though. Some scenes are very brutal, although those are brief. They're enough to disturb sensitive viewers. The gore is minimal, although there is a little bit, and the implication of some events, especially a scene with a goat or sheep or something, are quite distressing. Overall, I give this film 4 mental trauma. It's a really good film. It's my second favorite found footage film next to the Blair Witch Project, and you definitely should check it out. Even if you don't like found footage, I think some of you might enjoy this one. Now, this is something I haven't done before in this series, but I think this particular movie warrants a spoiler part. And so if you don't want to be spoiled, or if you haven't watched the movie, this is the end of the video for you. Otherwise, some of my theories as to what's going on in the movie. First, I think the creaking and scratching sounds are the creature moving just slightly as it's woken, and it moves very slowly, causing things to fall off of tables and such. So the paranormal things falling off tables, you never really see anything flying around the room. I believe that it's all just moving because the creature's under the church. When Deacon reads the notes from the priest from hundreds of years ago, he mentions God having spoken to the priest, telling him to build an orphanage near the church. To me, this was the creature mentally manipulating him to create a constant source of food, and it's later evidenced near the end of the film with all the bones of the children. The writer then continues and mentions suspecting the creature is manipulating his dreams and controlling his mind. Later, Gray sees a dog, which is further proof that the creature can and does willfully manipulate the minds of humans, including inducing hallucinations. Earlier in that scene, Gray sees a strange platform that's smoking, and he touches it, revealing that it's neither hot nor cold to the touch, and a strange rumbling is heard at this moment. I believe this is the creature waking, and the dog appearing as its reaction to having felt the presence of a human nearby. Throughout the film, you hear babies crying, If you watch the film with headphones on, you can hear that there's something disturbingly strange about it. Other than the fact that there's no babies around, the voice sounds almost inhuman, like something else trying to mimic a baby or sound like a baby. And shortly after, Mark is found unconscious, and it's implied that this creature had begun manipulating his mind at this moment after the baby sounds were heard. Also, in the film, the priest, Father Krillick, commits suicide, and I think it's a manifestation of his guilt. Just as this priest centuries before had written in a journal about becoming the creature's pawn, Father Krillick had become one too. I believe the creature had no intention of devouring Father Krillick. Instead, it intended to use him to draw more people from the Vatican and from the town to feed on. In fact, the team of Deacon, Will, and Mark were brought there due to Father Krillick's video, which he was manipulating to making to lure them. Also, Deacon finds the entrance to the caverns below the church and immediately is assaulted by dozens of voices from what sounds like grown humans and babies, including screams from someone named Father Ferzetti that Deacon knew. Some think this implies that the spirit of Father Ferzetti is in the cavern, making the creature's belly some kind of a hell or something. I don't think this is the case. To me, this seems like further proof that the creature has the power to enter people's minds and memories to use them against them, almost like it was searching Deacon's mind for some memory to use against him. And finally, just about the ending. The ending is horrific. Being slowly digested alive, I mean, it's extremely disturbing. I think the creature is some ancient being. Doesn't have limbs or head. It's just a presence, and the caverns are its belly. It just feeds off of people and has the power to manipulate their minds, and it's very massive. Very Lovecraftian, very horrendous, and I loved it. And something that I think humans can just can't understand. This concludes my review of Final Prayer, Borderlands. If you enjoyed this review, please leave a like or subscribe to the channel. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them below. I'll talk to you all real soon. Thank you for watching. This is Innkeeper Vasoden.